14, Shemuel Aleph over here, we were talking about how Shaul made a curse to anybody who eats. And he said that no one's allowed to eat because Hashem made us a miracle, and therefore we have to fast. And then this is after Yonatan made a secret mission secret mission to take some weapons from the Plishtim. And now he went and he made the oath. Everybody's not going to eat, but Yonatan didn't hear when his father made the oath. Therefore, he stretched out the staff of his hand and he dipped it b'yarot dvash, in the honey forest, and he goes and eats. So now he went against his father's word. And first of all, why did he make a fast? So the Mishnah of Rebbe Lezer says that the practice of Jewish leaders throughout generations, when we're in a time of distress, that's what we do. We make a fast. We make a day of public fasting, and we ask Hashem, Atzer Tefillah. What do the Jews do? Right, in Israel, they made that huge gathering for whatever decree they're going through, whether the army, whether there's a drought of war, no rain, whatever it may be. We made a tzeret, making everybody together at daven, and if you're on the high level, everybody should fast. That's how they used to make public fasts like that for the whole community. So therefore, the person has to participate. Also, everybody has to participate. The Rambam says if the community takes upon themselves something, and they want to do shuva or they want to fast, or everybody is supposed to show up to the prayer at certain town square, whatever it is. And if you don't come, the Rambam says you're poresh min hatzibur, you lose your chelak olam haba. Meaning, a person shouldn't think a community is when I want, I join the community, and when I don't want, I exclude myself. You have to, you're all in. You have fire and the water. You've got to get everything. The person has to be there in the good times, be there in the bad times. The person who is not there in the good times and in the bad times, he'll not have zochet to see the good times of the community. So therefore, a person has to be involved. He has to be involved. So then he took from the honey, interesting forest of honey. He brought it to his mouth, and his eyes lit up. And then one of the people called out and he said, "Oh, what are you doing? Ashbea avicha et ha'am. What do you mean? Your father made an oath. Everybody cursed the man who eats food today." And everybody became wary. They were scared now because now somebody transgressed the oath. What's going to happen? So Yonatan achar avit haaretz. He says, "What do you mean? My father distressed the land. Look how my eyes lit up when I ate the honey. Surely if everybody would have eaten today of the spoils of their enemy that they have acquired, we would have been even stronger and be able to fight even better." So then he excused himself and he said that it was okay that he did it. He goes and they fight the Plishtim, and the people swooped down, took the spoils, they slaughtered them, and the people ate with the blood, the pasuk says. And they told Shaul, "Behold, the people are sitting to Hashem by eating with the blood." What does it mean that they're eating with the blood? So we're going to learn. The commentaries say, some say that they ate without praying. And there the Gemara says is also lo tochlu al adam. Right? The Torah says you're not allowed to. The sages learn in that pasuk that you're not allowed to eat before you daven, before you pray. And if you do, it's considered as if you ate on the blood, which means you ate the meat without salting it for its blood, right? But then at the same time, over here the pasuk says the same thing. I saw the commentary say also that, remember we learned that Shaul, he made a mistake. He was supposed to wait for Shemuel to give the korbanot, and he didn't wait for Shemuel to show up. So I saw a commentary says that Shaul, he was nervous. He didn't want to go and eat first and do the korbanot and then fight the war. He wanted to go and fight the war. He wanted to fight the war with davening and with eating first. Meaning, a person who goes to the war, he's going to wait till Shmuel comes. So he's going to end up fighting without the korban, without doing a tefillah. He wanted to first pray. He wanted to give korban to Hashem and then fight the war because the Plishtim were coming. They had to fight. So he thought it was okay to first pray, and for the sake, he had the Shem Shemaim idea because he wanted to pray, do the korban, eat, and then be able to fight because he didn't want to eat without praying and without doing the korban. But anyways, over here it says the pasuk. It says also that they ate on the blood. What does it mean that they ate on the blood? So over here, we're still in chapter 14. So over here, the commentaries say like this. So he says like this. He says that when soldiers will conquer a land of the enemy, it's permitted for them to eat food that normally will be forbidden if they're starving, right? So maybe you could say that that's why they also ate before the blood of the animals drained. So that's one explanation, what it means. Because You could think, they're Jewish people, they're religious people, how could they eat meat with blood? So you could say, because there's halakha, that you're allowed to, and you're in a war, and you're starving, where are you going to get food from now? So it's sakanat nefashot, so everything's permitted, right? So therefore, still, Shaul was upset at them. We're going to see, he told them off, because they should have elevated themselves, because I told you, we're on a high level now, we're fasting, the whole day we were fasting. Now, I understand you're hungry, but you gotta try to still find kosher food. Why are you letting yourselves eat? Why are you eating meat with blood in it? So now Yonatan spoke against his father's oath. What was he doing? We're going to learn that the Urim and Tumim single out Yonatan for his punishment because, he ate is not the end of the world. He could have done teshuva, but the fact that he said, it's okay. It's okay, my father said that, it clouded up the minds of the people. And therefore, this statement implies that even if he would have known of the oath, he would have said, still I would eat. And we're going to learn that Yonatan weakened the people and he violated the cherem. And actually, in a way, it's going to cause a lot of punishment to Yonatan right now. We're going to see because he was sort of like Morid Malchut. He was sort of going against what the king said, and that's a problem. So now, so the question is, so how are they going to save Yonatan? We're going to learn in the pasuk how they save Yonatan because he has a tremendous sin on his head. But anyways, they began slaughtering animals and they started doing shish kebab. They started eating without draining the blood. So the Rambam says it means that people ate the flesh of the animal before it died. That's what Ramban says. So that's Ever Minachai actually, right? And then the Ralbag says no, that they brought an offering in their own area and they sat to eat. He says that you're not allowed to bring a separate korban wherever you are. That is considered like chas v'shalom, similar to idolatry. So that's the prohibition. That's what they were bothered with. And then you could say that it means that they ate without davening first. So that's also considered lo tuchlu al dam. Okay, but the point is that he's upset at them that they didn't wait to eat the right way. So then Shaul tells them, Yomer Shaul patzu ba'am, he said, you have transgressed. And v'amarta megisho elai ish shoro, bring me a large boulder, even gedolah, and then spread them out amongst the people, and say to them, each one bring an ox, bring a sheep, and we will slaughter them here, so you'll not sin to Hashem by eating with blood. And then he built a mizbeach there, and he said, let us go to the Plishtim at night and then fight them more. They listened to him, and then the Kohen said, let us approach Hashem. Shaul asked Hashem. Shaul asked the Urim Tumim, should I go fight more? And he didn't get an answer. So he told everybody, look what happened. And who sinned today? I find out that Hashem doesn't want to give me an answer through the Urim Tumim. That means somebody ate over here. Somebody transgressed my oath of the fast. Hashem's not with us. He says, who did it? And then they said, ויום השאול גשו אלום כל הפינות העם, כי חי השם המושיע את ישראל, אם ישנו ביונתן בני, כי ימות ימות. He says, even if it would be my son, even if the person, I'm so upset, even if it would be the person, my son, who would do the sin, he shall surely die. And nobody answered him. Nobody wanted to say who ate. And therefore, he said, יום כל ישראל, אתם תהיו לעבר אחד, ואני ויונתן בני נהיה לעבר אחד, ויום העם ושאול, אותו בעיניך עשה. Then he said to all Israel, you will be on one side, and I will, and Yonatan will be on the other side, and let the lot be conducted. He did a lot. He did a goral to see who was the person who ate. In Sefer Yeshua, also they did the same thing. There was someone who took from the spoils. Yeshua said no one's allowed to take the spoils, and there was one person who took the spoils, and then they were dying. They were dying in the next war, and they said, why are we dying? Usually we win, nobody dies. Must be somebody sinned and nobody admitted, so they did a goral, and that's how they were to find out who did the sin. So they did the goral, and who did it land on? It landed on Shaul and Yonatan. And now they have to do a goral between Shaul and Yonatan was singled out. Shaul asked Yonatan, what did you do? And he says, Abba, listen, I took some honey with my staff. I'm prepared to die. I'm sorry I went against your word. It is what it is. So Shaul said, Ko yaseh Elokim, Ko Yosif ki mot tamut Yonatan. He said, listen, I made an oath. What should I do? And therefore, I'm sorry that this is what has to happen. But the people said to Shaul, what are you doing? What do you mean? He's a great person. He went and got his weapons from Plishtim. How could it be that he acted for the sake of Hashem today? How could it be you killed him? They said, Chai Hashem im yapul mesa'arot rosho arza. Ki im Elokim asa hayom hazeh. He said, what do you mean? Not a hair on his head will fall off because he acted for the sake of Hashem. So then the people redeemed Yonatan, and he didn't die. What does this mean they redeemed him? What Well, how could they redeem him? Shaul said he has to die, and then they're saying, "Oh, he's a good guy. That's it. It's fine." And then that's it. They redeemed him. What does that mean? They redeemed him. So the commentators say over here something interesting. They say the Navi doesn't say, the pasuk doesn't say how they redeemed him. So there's a number of ways you could get around the oath. Number one, he didn't know that this will cause the people to get exhausted. Meaning, Shaul made them fight and fast. I don't know if anybody was in the Yom Kippur War. They were fasting and they were fighting. That's very hard. So you could say that it was an oath that he was wrong for making such an oath. What do you mean making people fast and fight? Second of all, he didn't know that the person who would sin is a person who didn't even hear. He didn't even hear the oath. What is his fault, right? Okay, yes, after he said, even it sounded like, oh, it's okay. It sounded like even if he would have heard it, he would have ate. But at the end of the day, he didn't hear it, right? So now the Midrash says that Yonatan violated the fast, b'shogeg. Someone who violates b'shogeg, you should give a korban. You should not die. And therefore, they made him do a korban, or they made Shaul do hatarat nedarim. They made hatarat nedarim. Therefore, retroactively, the vow was never valid, and therefore, it's not considered that Yonatan went against the king. So then, if Yonatan really didn't do a sin, he did it b'shogeg. So why did Shaul not get answered by Urim v'Tumim? Why did it look like Hashem left them? Hashem was upset at them. So then, Ch.14 was that a tzaddik like Yonatan was so great that even his b'shogeg was considered b'mezid. You understand? When a great person does a small mistake by accident to other people, it doesn't make a difference. Like for example, the Gemara says that tzaddikim, Hashem never makes them eat non-kosher. And Hashem always protects them, right? Even the donkey or Pinchas ben Yair, Hashem made it that he never ate non-kosher. But if a rabbi falls and eats non-kosher by accident, so then what is going to happen? People are going to say, you see, even the rabbi ate non-kosher. People in their mind, they take it as if he did it b'mezid. So therefore, it was also in a way that Yonatan, even though he ate in that time, it was shogeg, but at the end of the day, there was a little bit of a mistake on his part, and the people look at it as if mezid. But he was willing to do what? He was willing to die in Kiddush Hashem. Look at the holiness of the people. Yonatan said, okay, yeah, it's me, no problem, I died. That's it, finished. People are able to take responsibility for their actions. People sometimes no, it's not me, listen, excuses. He said, you know what? I take it like a man. That is a high level of Yonatan also. And maybe that's the reason why he survived. Maybe that's he was willing to own up. In the Torah it says, whoever takes up responsibility for what they did, Hashem forgives them. So maybe that's why also he got forgiven.